So I was in a past life a criminal. I spent, a good part of 25 years living a life of a criminal. Every day of my life, would be from the age of 7 being lowered into a building by my uncle to open the door for them because I was the smallest to get through the gaps. To going door to door with sponsorship forms that ended up in, mortgage frauds. Just kind of, I fell into a life of, a life of crime that then becomes organised. Yeah. You probably don't even realise that it's organised. So I come from a background that was trauma. I had very early childhood trauma. That creates, there are no criminals that just appear. It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. There's always something going on in the background. As for the title, Britain's Greatest Fraudster, that's a sexy red top paper headline that they gave me. That's great for putting bums on seats, right? But it's not something I'm at all proud of. I was young and foolish when I was involved in crime, and that. But it brings me here today. It brings me that title of just coming up, and just because I said something different to what everyone else was saying, I kind of see things as well. The presentation that I'll be giving you guys is about predictions that I've given in the past, and about how now they're relevant and how we can all learn from those predictions and what's coming in the future. Yes, that we live in a world nowadays of tech, right? Where there are many tech solutions, and some of them are fantastic, some of them not so fantastic. So being in business is about having the right team in place that understand the threats that everyone faces firstly, yeah. So, and not someone who's totally tech driven either. We have to understand what the differences are, and what are the issues that we face. The problem for the majority of us is that we believe computers hack people. It's just not true. There's not a single computer on the planet anywhere serving a prison sentence. If there was, I'd like to go and visit it. So it's always a human behind it, and that's because the humans are the criminal bit. The computer's just a tool that allows them to commit the crime, and we have to understand that, and that takes a different type of professional nowadays. Most professionals in our industry nowadays have had to include so much more things in their roles, and understanding and how the tech solution works alongside the vulnerabilities that they have internally with their staff. We always say that your staff can be a really amazing defense when utilized properly, and trained in the right way. That understanding the trigger points, understanding where all these things come from. At the moment, we're kind of in the dawn of the internet. We haven't even reached midday, and we've already got all of these problems. We've just got a long way to go, right? So we just have to keep training, understanding what's available to us to use, testing, continuous testing, always making sure that the system, because the criminals are always testing. How do they, unless they test, they can't find the vulnerability, they can't commit the fraud, the crime, they can't socially engineer. Everyone says tech solutions are great, and then someone picks up the phone and goes, hey, my name's Tony and I'm calling from your bank. Those things are so easy and clear to see. If I can get the victim to commit the crime for me, all the processes that are put in place are circumvented. It's such an obvious thing, and these are things that that every business nowadays has to think about, for sure. We have to get all this stuff together, yeah, and we have to put it all in a box, and we have to make it all work together in order for a business to function properly. So whether you're e-commerce, whether you're a data provider, whether you're a credit reference agency, a bank, a retailer, whatever your business is, yeah, we all need to start talking to each other, and everyone needs to understand everyone's vulnerabilities. You know, like our industry is full of secrets. It's full of it's full of denial. Yeah, like there's a lot of companies that deny we've been in an attack. We deny that we've lost our data. We deny this, we deny that. Yeah, well, the reality is you can't deny it anymore because the evidence is out there, and the criminals are getting smarter at releasing all this stuff. Yeah, so I often say in conferences and stuff about, you know, why do you think the hackers are going after your data? What do you think they're going to do once they've got it? What is the purpose of it? You know, they're going to force your hand. That's what it's all about. So whether they get an NDA that's been signed, right, that now has the company in a secret with a member of its staff or whatever that may be, because most companies throughout their life cycle have those things happen to them. It's inevitable as a company with growth, right? If I get that, I'll now put pressure on the board or on whoever it is that I know is in the NDA to say, well, do you want this coming out as a public problem? You know, like these are things that we have to understand of what they're going to do. How valuable is the data to them? Not just the customer's data, our own data that we keep on ourselves, our own employees. You know, like a rogue employee can cause absolute devastation also. Yeah, like it's understanding these triggers and finding these types of people and giving them help understanding, you know, them sort of things, not just throwing them out on there, because that just passes them on to another company where they get in and something's definitely going to happen sooner or later down the line, right? So protecting your employees comes in many different forms, yeah, and it's understanding what that, you know, in how that works and how we can better arm them to deal with the threats that they see. Because it's not just them, it's not just staff in that way, it's the members of the family. It's like, you know, as an attacker, this is what I'm saying, when I look at data, what am I looking at? What are the bits of information that are going to become really important to me? Whether I'm doing an open source intelligence gather, what's the point of an open source intelligence gather? What am I doing that for?